Well guys, thank you for clicking on the video. What a video this is going to be, because all I wanted to know was, are Rubicon Jeeps that good? That's kind of crazy.
That's really crazy.
So I rented one through Turo. The guy said, hey, it's okay, you could take it off-road. But I ended up there in a huge blizzard, and I actually almost got trapped by a bunch of water in Vegas. Oh God, I almost fell in. Oh man, it was close, I ain't gonna lie, so stick around, you're watching KnightDriveTV. I always wanted to build fast cars, so self-taught I started with engine swaps, composites in my apartment, to multiple shops, tuning, fabrication, and more. 10 years later, the big time, SEMA, Speed TV, I climbed from nothing, but I lost it all. This is my new ride, KnightDriveTV. Failure is not an option. Us car guys keep banging the gears of life. So just how good are these Jeeps anyway? I had to find out. I love my Tahoe, don't get me wrong, but the turnkey simplicity of a machine that is engineered specifically to go off-road, but also be livable on the street, if nothing else, we'll call it a benchmark to aim at. For this video, I'm starting the test out here in an area that was underwater for many years. Due to drought and what is referred to as structural deficit, this area formerly underwater as part of Lake Mead is now very bare, but yet fun camping and off-road playground. This is the perfect area to test how this stock Jeep can handle loose surfaces, steep climbs, rocky terrain, and while we're out here, give you folks a good chance to look around. This is an area known to the locals as 8 Mile. One of the first points on my list was to experience the advantage of the Rubicon's specific 4-to-1 reduction transfer case. This transfer case is only available to Rubicon JLs versus all the other variants. This hill climb really surprised us. Watch this. Are you okay? It looks bad, right? Now, does the drone capture? How steep does that look to you?
It looks very steep.
Like,
we've done some hills, but it looks very steep.
Like, does that look scary steep to you?
I mean, from here, yes.
Okay, so we'll see what the drone shows you, but now we're in 4 low, and then we're going to see what happens. Cameras struggle to translate the perception of this hill in person, but what starts at 13 degrees or a 23% grade will increase to 20 degrees or a 36% grade. This is pretty steep, and it's a good starting point. So I'm showing Lace. This thing is in, I'm not touching the pedals, and it is crawling up this hill. Without even touching the fuel, the throttle. So the 4-to-1 transfer case in these is showing itself. It is crawling up this hill, Lace, with literally like no help.
That's loud.
That's kind of crazy.
That's really crazy.
So for you Moab gurus and caged buggy guys, yes, this is nothing. I'm aware. I've personally had all mildly modded 4-wheel drive vehicles like 4Runners, Pathfinder, Trooper, and my Tahoe. This Jeep, though, as a stock platform, has us immediately impressed. I'd questioned initially if the 4-cylinder turbo would have enough low-end grunt to avoid bogging down. This situation can leave you trapped on a loose hill, as I've experienced before, but the high reduction gearing makes a difference when combined with the stock tire size. What about the loose stuff, though? Next test. All right, so this is going to be the test, because I've come up through here in the Tahoe and it's been tough. So I'm not even aired down. So I'm just letting you guys know I'm way out here. I'm not even aired down. So we're going to come up this hill here and we're going to test this, and I'm going to show you in the drone. We're going to be spinning. So can the Jeep make it? Now what we have next is a small climb, which I'm going to first attempt in 4 high unlocked. The Rubicon will only allow you to engage a locker in 4 low, and in my opinion, I'm not a fan of that limitation. Regardless though, with the 2.0 4-cylinder, we are about to see the bog down happen pretty quick. Without 4 low, regardless of lockers, this Jeep isn't doing this. Right as we start to submerge a bit, I feel a big shudder in the driveline and immediately let off and prepare to have another go at it with 4 low and lockers engaged. Recognizing that it's only going to get softer as we climb, abusing the drivetrain is pointless. So for those who think you can just bomb it up there, you're right, but hey, it's not my vehicle and I truly wanted to see if it could do it. Here we approach again, and this time the power feels much more available, and just a steady throttle I can feel the lockers working and the Jeep clawing its way. Now also bear in mind, I have not aired down. Airing down in this scenario would help greatly, but many people don't air down. We see it all the time out here, and the rescue groups will ask you first and foremost, did you air down? Why? Because so many people haven't. Watch this Jeep in action though. It just claws its way and claws its way. I was actually really impressed. With that, we'd made it, and the reward is one of the best views of Lake Mead that can be captured. This is what Jeeps can do, conquer things that so many locals driving stock vehicles every day could never get to. Look at that. Alrighty guys, so let me tell you, when you water the desert, don't think it won't get green, because it will. We've had a lot of moisture, a lot of rain this year, and so I'm airing down the Jeep, and I'm going to go ahead and go in this direction. So this is called Rocky Gap Road. I'm just going to play it by ear and go up in there, see what the conditions are. It's up in there. You can see there's some definite rain, here's some thunder. Wild experience out in the desert, let me tell you. So yeah, this is a pretty unique experience. The Jeep runs great. Very impressed with it. So this is going to be kind of the next level. I am airing down, and so I'm just amazed by the ride compliance and the small stuff. I can see why some guys don't air down and don't even think to, because you know it rides pretty well. But yep, gonna air down. We're gonna head up in here, hoping to use the drone. I'm gonna put it at risk because it's raining a little bit, so hoping to give you guys a good look, and let's keep testing out the Rubicon. Obviously compliance much better when you air down. What a good guess. The risk going off-road alone is always something that should be taken very seriously. I've informed people where I'd be, what time I expect to be back. Always be prepared. You know, like me, in the snow, in shorts, just 30 minutes west of Las Vegas in May. Rocky Gap Road from the west side leads into what's referred to as Red Rock. The trail starts somewhat mild, but then turns into a place called the Rock Garden. The Rock Garden then leads to some very high elevation switchbacks and makes for some really epic views. The problem is, it's snowing, I'm alone, with no service and no spotter, in a Jeep that isn't mine, so let's just hope for the best. So you can see the conditions here are very unique for Las Vegas in the basically summertime, and so this is a pretty unique experience. Hope you're enjoying the view, and just very impressed with this Rubicon. It's just doing everything you want it to do, and just complete stock form. Oh, we got a little bit of a washout here. This is kind of an exit if you're down in the gap, so I'm running a bypass right now. So I can't help but notice conditions seem to be worsening. The catch with dirt and surfaces out here is when they get wet, they get very slippery. Also, the ground really doesn't like water out here either, so we have these things called washes, where water just kind of shows up and washes little Jeep Rubicons right away. Jeez, that's incredible. Wow. Yeah, that's not what Here I'm entering the real unavoidable phase of the rock garden. I've done this before with a spotter, but the slippery conditions, being a bit blind to my wheel placement, and also being in what feels like the eye of the storm, I have a decision to make. Wow. This is a bit more than normal though. Well, we're sliding. We don't want to be sliding. While there are a lot of 2 foot to 4 foot diameter rocks here, there is a line even with a low clearance stock Rubicon, but it does require a spotter or a very methodical approach. The slippery rock though, combined with an unpredictable storm, can really make a situation take a fast turn for the worst. Sometimes hard decisions need to be made though. Well, due to the slick rock and the nature of it being wet back here, you know, sometimes you have to make certain decisions off-road, especially being by yourself. And so if I had a spotter, I have no doubt I'd be cool through there. But feeling that I was slipping a little bit, and these are just BFGATs, you know, great tire, no question about it, KO2s. But I just don't want to take any undue risks. So, you know, it was already, the conditions were on the edge, and going into the more difficult area, as much as I want to get to the other side, that's the get home-itis that pilots have when they run out of fuel before they get to their destination and weird things happen. So, you know, I'm making that pilot-like decision, and I'm going to turn around and go back. Turning back sometimes has a silver lining, though. I decide to head to another route nearby, which I've never taken before, but that not only leads me away from this storm, but to another mountain pass that's even bigger. Maybe I can skirt around the storm and get over this mountain yet. Just when you thought Las Vegas runs out of unique scenery, though, wait till you see what lies ahead. Vegas isn't just about casinos, naked booties, and a big fountain. No, there's more. By this time in the trip, I'm starting to really get a feel for the Jeep, and one thing I can say is it really gives you a feeling of confidence as a solo traveler. So far, I'm very impressed, but the seats are absolutely killing me. Road washouts ahead. Just thinking about what this vehicle's showing me on the level that it's on, just bone stock, I realize, like, if you add a little tire to this, I mean, honestly, it makes obvious sense. You have access essentially to the world. What more could you really want? All the systems are here. I guess it just comes down to reliability and you know, how I guess I don't want to say bulletproof it is, but how durable it is. You know, the question is, can I catch it? You know, can you match it with something that is IFS for one? I think that's what the Bronco is questioning and is trying to do. Definitely, you know, when it comes to chasing Jeep and the solid axle, I think it creates a debate in my mind with the Tahoe as to, you know, which way do I want to go? Do I want to put 1-tons on a Tahoe, or do I want to try and really build on that IFS system and try to make it something that's, you know, a very unique combination of traction, but also compliance and roadworthiness, and sacrifice maybe just a little bit on the flex side, but with the right tire and things like that, I'm like, I feel like I could get close. What more is there to say? Jeeps are great, with really hard and crappy seats, in my opinion, of course. It's good enough on-road, but tremendous on mixed trails. I love the sway bar disconnect, but a lot of these electronic systems worry me when far off the beaten path. The sway bar connects and disconnects repeatedly off-road when passing 20 miles per hour. The lockers are only available in 4-low. Jeep engineers are hamstrung by regulation and worries of liability, so this is the compromise. It's built versus bought, and if you must buy this, or a Bronco. Regardless what you buy, none of these are perfect. Jeep had locker actuator issues, Broncos are breaking tie rod ends. Off-roading is hard on everything. The facts are, the Jeep is compact, maneuverable, and confidence-inspiring. It's not as cramped as I expected, but it's no couch on wheels like my Tahoe either. All I know is, getting over this mountain ahead is going to be a joy, so let's get to it. Oh yeah, and what's my final verdict? Is KnightDriveTV buying a Rubicon? Nah, I'm keeping my Tahoe. Let's ride. Well, I've decided to stop. We are heading up over that pass up there. A little bit windy outside and a little bit cool, so we're gonna cook right here. Oh, the best. These are so good. Nothing like having a hot soup, thinking about this KnightDriveTV journey both behind me as well as ahead. Getting away for a few hours is much needed, and reaching the peak is pretty easy, but the descent is going to bring some surprises, and turning back really won't be a solid option this time. Yep, we have peaked, and the weather has held, so hopefully we'll have an easy ride back down and get back to the other side of Vegas. Man, I've always been scared to climb that. Side by sides, man. Woo, they do some wild stuff. But let's go down on the downhill here, and this gets a bit rocky, not too bad, but heck of a view, heck of a view. This descent is typically a mild rocky section with a mix of off-angle turns and some mild rock obstacles. For a stock vehicle, it's only tricky due to the typically low axle clearance and watching the pumpkin. These 33s are doing pretty well, but the jump to 35s makes a big difference on rocks. It's definitely pushing towards sundown, and this far I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary. I'm about 1 hour from Cold Creek, so I feel like I'm making good time. Yeah, so we got some steady mountain water flowing, and so that can change a lot of this. And you know, some of these rocks like this here, it looks small on camera, but this is, you know, this rock here, some of these rocks are big. This is, you know, this is past my knee here. So, you know, it can show you when you stand back. Cameras just don't translate the size of things very well. So looking down through this drainage here, you know, it changes the layout of things and makes things pretty complicated because it can wash some of this big stuff into the way. But obviously I'm gonna have to work my way down through there, but got some fresh water if I needed it. This angle better reveals why caution is required for a vehicle of this limited stature. That isn't mine, by the way. The Rubicon's 10.2 inches or so stock clearance gets reduced by airing down the tire, so only small rocks underneath can lead to some contact. Since I'm trying to keep this clean, I'm careful with my placement. I think this is where the idea of having an old Tahoe really favors my mind, because this stuff wouldn't worry me, but this is a $60,000 or so Rubicon. It's not mine. Of course you want to preserve the paint, but you're thinking, if it's getting worse, is it going to get even worse ahead? Am I going to have to turn around? The party might just be getting started as my footage and my batteries are dying. This could there's been a lot of erosion through here, you can kind of see, so it's going to be interesting, but we're gonna go for it here and hopefully make it out. Yeah, you can see these wash areas. They are potentially, you know, very game changing if you haven't been down the trail in some time, because the trail will change. This is a bit rougher than this corridor used to be, because side-by-sides come through here quite a bit. Oh boy, we got quite an area here to go through. After negotiating some obstacles off camera to preserve battery, I made it clear to the portion of the trail that is usually the home free section. There's usually a tiny trickle stream to cross, which leads to a graded road, but this time something was different. Well, I come to you with an emergency broadcast. This is blocked, and that ain't good, because I've gone this way before, and if I can't get over there, oh, this ain't good, because the weather has closed in over the pass there. It is, it's getting darker, and yeah, I need to go that way, so this ain't good. It looks like there probably is a lot of water that has come through here and eroded that, and I think they've closed it off. So I may have to go scout it. And you know, I hate to go around signs like this, but I mean, you would think they'd put a sign up there like no throughway, because I mean, going back up what I just came down is going to be tough also. So, ooh, let's get out and check. Yeah. No vehicles, it says. So I'm thinking, you can see a sign over there. I mean, I'm thinking this is the problem right here. It's like whitewater rapids coming down from the mountain. Now folks, before anyone yells at my whitewater comment, this is Lace's brother making faces like little Nicky, as he and I eat a class 5 and I almost drown. Our river guide said, whatever you do, don't fall out on this rapid. It's bad. Check out his eyebrows. He thought he was a goner, and so did I. And it looks like it's taken out the road. I mean, we're gonna have to go through this. But then up there, I'm questioning, oh boy. I mean, this is the only way home. You know what I mean? It's not good. Oh yeah, this ain't happening. Oh boy, this ain't good. But, oh God, I almost fell in. All right, so I'm using my Gaia app here, and you can see the route I've usually taken before. But it does look like this. I've never taken this before, but it's pretty much following the wash out. So we should be able to do that. That's the highway I need to get to. So that's about the only option. Obviously I have some thing. Yeah, that's pretty much the only option. So I got to go this way. I've got to get over to this road here and go this way. And that would be ideal if I could do it. Well, it's all fun and games until you get stuck. You know? So I'm gonna backtrack a little way, and I'm gonna see if there's any chance. Oh, I thought that was a big rock. I'm gonna see if there's any chance of getting across that water drainage. But I mean, by the looks of it, I'm thinking probably not. So either way, I've got to cross it, I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna go do this backtrack, and then if that's blocked off, then I'm gonna go south and hope I can get out that way, because that water's going somewhere. So I don't know, as far as going down, if I'll inevitably run into it or not. So with light limited, no cell service, and now some obstacles mounting, taking any undue risks, such as crossing a small but yet deeply rutted washout or pushing into unknown routes, these are the small recipes for disaster. Deviating from the path that you've told people you'd be on leads to rescue issues, and hiking in the temperatures ahead to get to cell service, I'm all but guaranteed an overnight stay in the desert. I decide, based on my Gaia app, to attempt a workaround that hopefully crosses the water while it's still in some underground phase. If this doesn't play out, then the only alternative is to either head into an unknown very long trail or backtrack 2 hours. I feel like we have a chance not seeing that water. Yep. Trying to take this route. This is that fenced area, so... Oh, I see the water. I see the water. I might have made it. Oh, I'm off track. Shoot. Phone's going low on battery. Everything turns into an adventure. That's why, you know, you always tell somebody where you are. Like I told Lace, I was going Wheeler's Pass, so, you know, that's the key. Telling somebody where you are, where you're going to be. You just never know out here. Looks like I got to go through this little hole. Oh, man. You got to love the Jeep being small. It's like a compact car compared to the Tahoe. And I believe I've gotten around the water. Who would have thought dodging water in Las Vegas would be my problem? That is something. More water. Luckily, just as night begins to fall, I clear the dirt and hit the pavement again. Just in time, but still without cell service. My first priority is to text Lace and let her know I made it out. She was not far from calling for rescue folks, as it had been over 4 hours since entering Wheeler's Pass. This trip finally convinced me that investing in a satellite messaging device is critical to have, so I purchased a Zoleo, which I am happy to report works fantastically well. What a ride though, great Jeep, great video for my own archives to watch years from now. I hope you enjoyed it. Go buy yourself a Jeep, or like me, build yourself a Tahoe. Hey, come back. Come say hello. Come say hello. Come on, buddy. Oh, there's there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them out there. Oh, another. I don't know what that is. Yep, you'll have that.